So today I am going to share some ideas on what startups can be made out in India from, right? So there are so many problems that are unsolved in India which can still be solved. But the most common ideas entrepreneurs get are the ones like, starting an e-commerce brand or starting an apparel brand or starting delivery service for something, right? While this is not so bad. Generally, the good ideas or the best ideas are the ones that come from genuine problems that are relevant to our market, right? So if you look at problems, I'm going to give you a list of ideas that still are $1 billion ideas, but that have not been worked out by startups in India, right? So one of my first my favorite thing is mass public transportation that is affordable for all, right? So let me tell you a little bit more about that problem. So that's problem statement number one. So even though we think of Uber or Ola that has come into the market, but if you've seen most of the cars ride with one or two passengers, right? Still, the space efficiency of their vehicles is not so great, and they're not so affordable all the time, right? Because of the surge rate and all. Sometimes they are expensive to afford, right? So not all the population is shifted to this ride sharing or cab riding. So you would need public transport that is affordable for all. At the same time, public transport that is of high quality, right? So something like metro is a saver, but metro still doesn't take you from point to point, right? Like you still have to reach from your destination to the metro, right? And metros is completely owned and run by bigger corporations and like government corporations, right? And it needs a huge amount of capital. So they definitely needs some smarter solutions. Obviously, these are going to be high capital industries, but I'm sure there are going to be some solutions like tunnels or something like air travel that could move people from one place to other extremely fast and move it in mass volume, not just in one and two quantity. And the kind of transport should be affordable. At the same time, it should be luxury, so that even the upper middle class and richer class people would want to travel by the transport, and it should be from point to point. So that there might be multiple aspects, like instead of having a single solution, like somebody is doing the first mile of it, like taking from your home to the nearest metro station, or from there is another line haul. From there, let's say from there you're being transported by a metro or a public transport bus, and from there again you're being shifted from there to your office by a car or something. I think a lot of efficiency can be brought here by using technology and encouraging people to move towards public transport by forming new form of incentives and new forms of indicators that would make it more fast, affordable, and luxury for everybody, right? I mean, if you see the basic reasons of why people would want to travel in a car, I think it's basically luxury and gives you the comfort of joining from P to P, and it's also, but time ways, you're not saving any time. You're always stuck in congested traffic these days, right? So it's a big challenge right now. So that's I think one challenge I see, improving the mass or public transportation system by engaging in technology and moving people from point to point. That's problem statement number one. If you see second problem statement that is India specific, that's hard to solve but can be solved, is unemployment, right? There's a lot of people who need employment, and the number of corporations that are being open or MSMEs that are open, they do not even fulfill 5 to 6% of the employment demand that is needed, right? Still more than 80% of the people of the youth getting out of colleges or learning some skills are not getting employed. So there can be a skill development university sort of a thing, which can be online or something, and which would eventually make people end up in making some sort of an income. It can be data entry, it can be virtual assistants, It can be a bunch of other things like deliveries, Swiggy and all have solved this to a little extent, but I believe some unified brand solution that completely gives this skill training plus job recruitment. That's a kind of solution that can really work for solving unemployment in India, right? And the third problem that India is facing that could be $1 billion is affordable education for all, right? Like if you're looking at the new paradigm of education, right? Obviously, one of the things the government is trying is improving the quality of government education in government schools and all. But if you're looking at something like Byju's and all, it's still very very expensive for somebody who is from um, you know from a below poverty line or low middle class, or somebody who is under poverty. It's very very difficult for them to afford something like that, right? And again, the education or the I mean, obviously there is definitely a need for a data connection, as well as ability to pay for the internet bandwidth, and play these apps, right? So some form of a solution that would subsidize this internet connectivity charges for education, plus an app that would make this education extremely affordable, and that's of great quality and great value, and it completely transforms the traditional education industry. Like that is one area I think where there is still $1 billion, like affordable education, school education, and in their languages, or in the regional languages, and yeah, there could be a brand built out there, which could be a potentially $1 billion brand. These are all India specific problems. The fourth problem I think is in the similar line, like affordable healthcare for all. These days if you go to a hospital, you basically charged a bomb, right? I think of it could be look like if there is a common insurance subscription that people could pay for an year or so, which could be subsidized because of the volume, right? Let's say there are 4 members in my family and I pay, let's say, some amount, like, okay, this is 3,000 rupees I'm paying for the whole year, like, which is about 500 rupees a month. And I get this insurance and I go to these affordable healthcare brand centers, which are maintained and run by an entity, by the same entity. I think that would make extreme sense and make healthcare really affordable for all, right? The fact that they are branded means that the quality can be ensured, the process can be improved, and right kind of recruitment and right kind of distribution can be done around doctors and facility centers, right? So interesting solutions like this are possible in India. So instead of thinking on simpler problems like doing e-commerce for this, let me build a fun app for this, let me build a chat app for this, let me build a plugin, let me build a software. I think if Indian entrepreneurs focus on solving hard problems that are there in India, I think there's a much brighter future for such kind of ideas, and they could be potentially multi-billion-dollar opportunities. Sadly, so not so many people are yet working on that. That includes people like me. But I strongly wish that some of the people, start in the direction and change potentially what's happening there. It has started in bits and pieces in different ways, but not with this soul aim like this, right? And that would mean building the next big $1 billion or even $1 trillion companies out of India, right? That's it for today. Thank you for watching.